The morning sun barely pierced through the thick smog hanging over the outskirts of Detroit, but inside a small auto repair shop on 8 Mile Road, the day had already begun. Marcus Taylor, a wiry man in his late 30s with grease-stained hands and calloused fingers, rolled under a beat-up Chevy Impala, humming along to the soul music spilling from a dusty radio. He didn't own much. An old trailer with a leaky roof, a rusty pickup truck that coughed instead of roared, and a heart far bigger than his circumstances allowed. Marcus had learned to live with less, to find joy in helping people who couldn't afford expensive fixes or new tires. Most of his days were filled with patching up cars for locals who paid in installments or sometimes a hot meal. That Tuesday was supposed to be a short shift. He had promised to meet his little niece, Ella, for her school recital at 4 p.m. But as he cleaned up for the day around noon, a sleek black Range Rover pulled up, its engine sputtering unnaturally. The door opened and out stepped a woman in her late 30s, dressed in a tailored navy suit, heels clicking against the cracked pavement. Her name was Lauren Chambers, and she looked as out of place in Marcus's world as a diamond ring in a toolbox. "Car won't start right," she said, frustration lacing her tone. "I have a meeting downtown in 2 hours. It's urgent." Marcus glanced at the clock. Fixing a luxury engine wasn't going to be quick. He hesitated for a moment, then waved her toward the waiting area. "I'll take a look. Might be a sensor or the fuel injection." Inside, Marcus worked fast. Diagnosed a misfiring spark plug and a clogged fuel injector. He could have turned her away, sent her to the dealership, charged her triple. But he didn't. He replaced the parts using spares he'd bought for another customer who hadn't shown up, then test drove the car around the block. By the time he was done, it was nearly 4:30 p.m. Ella's recital was long over. Lauren returned from a call, clearly anxious. "Is it ready?" "Running smooth now," he said, wiping his hands. "How much do I owe you?" He hesitated again. "Just pay it forward. Help someone who needs it." She blinked. "You're serious?" "It's what my mama taught me." Lauren left, still stunned, and Marcus went home to an empty house and a cold dinner. But that night, Ella video called him, beaming with joy. "Uncle Marcus, I saw you weren't there, but I sang your favorite song anyway. Mommy recorded it." A week passed. Then 2. Marcus went on with life, fixing cars, helping neighbors, and trying to scrape enough to patch the trailer roof before winter. One afternoon, a delivery truck stopped in front of the shop. The driver handed Marcus an envelope with an embossed logo. Inside was an invitation to a business gala at one of Detroit's top hotels. Puzzled, Marcus thought it was a mistake. The next day, Lauren returned. Same Range Rover, but this time, she wore jeans and a sweater. "Thought you'd ignore the invitation," she said, smiling. "I thought it was sent to the wrong guy," he replied. "It wasn't. Over coffee at the corner diner," she explained. Lauren wasn't just any executive. She was the founder of an automotive tech startup specializing in electric car components. That day her car broke down. She had been en route to pitch her company to investors. Thanks to Marcus, she made it. The meeting had gone so well that she secured the funding she'd been chasing for months. "I owe you more than you know," she said. "You saved my company's future. And your integrity, that's the kind of partner I want." Marcus laughed awkwardly. "I don't know the first thing about startups or tech. You know people. You know trust. You know how to keep things running. I need that." She offered him a position, co-founder and head of community operations. She wanted to build a mobile auto repair outreach under her brand, helping people in underserved communities while promoting eco-friendly vehicle solutions. She wanted Marcus to lead it. He took a week to decide. He spoke with Ella, with the old-timers at the shop, and even drove to the cemetery to sit beside his mama's grave. She had always told him, kindness never goes unpaid, even if it takes time. When he called Lauren to say yes, his voice shook. But it was the kind of trembling that comes with change, with hope. The next year was a whirlwind. Marcus traded his greasy overalls for clean polos with the company logo. He traveled for the first time in years, speaking at conferences about the intersection of community service and modern automotive innovation. He hired old friends from his neighborhood, teaching them the new skills he was learning. They opened pop-up repair hubs in low-income areas, offering free diagnostics and training programs for young mechanics. News outlets picked up the story. The mechanic who fixed more than cars. At a major tech summit in Chicago, Lauren introduced Marcus to a packed room. She shared how a moment of humility from a stranger reshaped her vision of success. When he took the mic, Marcus looked out into the sea of suits and cameras and said, "I ain't got a degree or a fancy title. But I know this, people remember how you made them feel. And if you treat people like they matter, The world has a way of circling back. Applause thundered. But it wasn't just for the words. It was for the truth in them. On the second anniversary of that fateful day, Marcus held a block party in his old neighborhood. Food trucks lined the street, kids danced to music, and free car checkups were offered to anyone who needed them. Lauren stood beside him, handing out lemonade. Still think I picked the wrong guy? He grinned. Nah, but I still owe you for that coffee. She laughed. Deal. As the sun dipped below the skyline, Marcus looked around at the buzzing crowd, the joy, the warmth. The lives changed not by algorithms or venture capital, but by one small act of humanity. And in that moment, he realized his mama had been right all along. Kindness never goes unpaid. The story is complete and crafted with the emotional depth, relatability, and inspirational arc you requested. Would you like help turning this into a script, video voiceover, or social media post?